It's just an amazing place, and nothing will ever be built around it because I own all the land around it. It's nice to own land.
What do you think about the environmental concerns? The Scottish Wildlife Trust asked you to boycott it.
I mean, come on. I mean, do they boycott all investment? I mean, come on. This is the best part of $1 billion investment here, and we're very, very fortunate to have it here in Scotland.
Remember how much time Trump spent golfing as president? It was a pretty frustrating yet ultimately harmless pastime that some argued at least kept him away from the nuclear codes. But now the Scottish government is months away from exposing one of the Trump family's biggest secrets with regards to their real estate empire, and it has to do with golf. It's how they financed the Trump Turnberry Golf Resort in Scotland, details of which could lead to shocking financial revelations for the Trump's entire empire. I'm Caroline Johnson. Thanks for watching. The Daily Beast is reporting that a judge in Scotland, Lord Sandison, will decide whether the Scottish government can use a new anti-money laundering tool to investigate how Trump suddenly came up with $60 million in cash to buy and establish the Turnberry Resort. When Trump purchased the resort in an all-cash deal, this raised eyebrows because at the time, Trump Entertainment Resorts was filing for bankruptcy. The LLC that ran the operation then went on to suffer millions of dollars in losses every single year since acquiring the property. In total, the property has lost $63 million, which is the same amount they paid for it. In the past, the Trump org claimed they spent over $150 million in renovations, which continues to beg the question, where was all this money coming from? And why are they still pouring money into something that is so financially unviable? When he bought the property for $60 million, it raised suspicions in the European press, but investigations couldn't really proceed because there weren't really any political measures in place to investigate. But now that's changed. The EU has spent years developing strategies to counteract money laundering tactics, which would give investigators ability to dig deeper into the corporate veils and financial details of such corporate transactions. The Daily Beast reports that in 2015, the EU passed the fourth money laundering directive, allowing governments to employ something called an unexplained wealth order, which forces rich, politically connected people to explain how they paid for a suspiciously acquired asset. Scotland Minister Nicola Sturgeon, however, has held to her stance that politicians can't issue, quote, unexplained wealth orders, passing the buck to law enforcement officials and prosecutors. But Scottish Parliament feels otherwise, which has led to a political coalition calling on the Scottish Government of Ministers to finally use this authority. This action has been taken to official judicial review, and the judge presiding will hear how this tool can be used specifically in the Trump Golf Resort case. His ruling could come by the end of this year, which means the Trump org might have to hand over all paperwork referring to the resort. And when that happens, I think we all know what kind of legal trouble, including jail time, might finally be in the cards for the Trump family. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on all platforms at Caro Johnson 917.